So we've been getting some really cool announcements with Tokyo Game Show recently, including all sorts of new trailers, and one that stood out that got an all-new showcase is a game that is inspired by Parasite Eve. There was a second game that was also inspired by Parasite Eve not too long ago that got announced, so now we're looking at two separate games by different teams with pretty different takes on the Parasite Eve formula. You want to stick around to check them both out because believe me, they both look awesome. We'll start with the most recent trailer for Parasite Mutant. They hit it a bit on the nose there with the name, but man, does it look great. Instead of the more tight and cramped atmosphere that you would get in Parasite Eve, this game opens up things a bit, so you're traversing through this urban area with all sorts of crazy Cthulhu-looking chaps who want to eat your face. It has that classic combat style where it opens up with a half sphere that allows you to select the enemy that you'd like to attack. I think it's called like an active time combat system, something like that. There does seem to be a bit of a futuristic aspect to it since you have this drone buddy that flies alongside you, dealing damage to your enemies. And part of what makes me excited for the combat in this game is that it does appear to have the same sort of real-time, partial real-time combat that Parasite Eve did so well. So that allows you to reposition and move out of the way when your enemies try to attack, all while you're finding ways to weave your hits into them. So it's like a partial turn-based system that also has real-time elements. And it wasn't just mutants that you seem to be fighting, there are also humans, or at the very least, humanoids, and even mechs. Along with combat, there are clearly some puzzle mechanics of some sort, so that could be fun to break things up a bit, and I just absolutely love the aesthetic. It almost reminds me a bit of Deus Ex with the dark spaces, urban areas, and future tech. Just for some more specific details, it does say that this is survival horror. It does also have a leveling system, so we have RPG mechanics in there for sure, including point progression, modifying and enhancing equipment. There's a new Game Plus mode, and in that mode, new locations are actually unlocked, so that gives you some reason to replay the game as well. This one looks like a lot of fun. I'm excited to see more. We've had an entire era, maybe even two, pass since there was anything like Parasite Eve, so I'm excited to see what this team can bring. They've announced that they're aiming for a release in 2026, so might not be that long before we're able to get our hands on the game. But that's not all. There's still a second game to look at, and that game is called 45 Parabellum Bloudhound. It also embodies that Parasite Eve style, down to the active combat that lets you move around and dodge attacks while also waiting for your own turn to strike, as a very cool atmosphere and aesthetic. The kind that we've seen a bit with some recent RPGs like Lunacid or Dread Delusion, that pairs old-school retro-inspired graphics with new engines to give the game a very stylistic look. Reminds me a bit of the PS1 era. And this one, the developer has said that there will be all sorts of secrets to find throughout the game world, and there'll also be a unique cast of characters to interact with. All of that will play out in a game that's around 7 or so chapters long, with a boss battle at the end of each chapter. They've already completed around 5 or so of those chapters to the point that they're playable from start to finish. They've locked in the features, and they have a story complete and ready to go as well. But there is no timeline for the game to come out as of yet, so it's not clear exactly when 45 Parabellum Bloodhound will release, but it's always cool when we get these throwbacks to some of the more unique games out there. Parasite Eve had so many things going for it. I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen any sort of remakes or remasters for the two original games. Maybe we will in the future. Who knows? But for now, we have a couple of RPGs to look forward to that share some of the style and the combat, and I'm definitely excited to see where those go. I do videos on RPGs of all kinds, so if you love them as much as I do, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.